What's going on, guys? What's happening? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, for those of you who do not know me yet. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what my plans are for tomorrow to hopefully make several $1,000s. And I think my insights can help you guys be a little bit more profitable or a little less negative, depending on how the market is tomorrow. Now, overall, we've seen the OTC market slow down a lot. At least in the last couple of days, it has been very, very slow overall. We haven't had any of those 1,000% runners, and you gotta really, really know your stuff to be able to come out with any type of decent profits on choppy days like this, because there's nothing that's running huge. So all you gotta do is you gotta take advantage of those little fluctuations and be very precise with your entries and your exits. And again, I've talked about this a little bit in my last couple of videos, but I want to talk a little bit more today about how I do that and how I'm going to continue to make money if there's no great opportunities in the market, because no matter what, there's still ways to make money, and it might not be nearly as much, but if you guys learn how to do this, you can still make hundreds or thousands of dollars a day, even in a choppy market. I think I made like 3,400 or something like that on Friday, so still a pretty decent day despite the lack of big opportunities. And also, something I wanted to mention was the fact that I feel like whenever we get a time where every single stock is failing, everything that spikes dies down, shorts tend to get more aggressive, and because of that, there's always going to be one play eventually that just surprises all the shorts, and it just turns into a massive short squeeze. Because imagine everything that spikes up 50% on the day fades down and goes negative on the day. Wouldn't you be okay if you were short being more aggressive and not cutting your losses immediately? If you saw something that spiked up 50%, you'd be like, ooh, that's a free win. I'm gonna start shorting here. And then it comes back down and you're positive. So if there's a stock that does spike up and then keeps going, you're probably not going to cut. You might just add. And that's why whenever we have a market where pretty much every stock is failing, there's always like a black swan event, and there's always one stock that goes absolutely insane because short sellers do not expect it to work when everything else is failing. So I'm praying that we get that in the OTC market. I would love to see another one of those 1,000, 2,000% runners in one day. That would be insane. I know we have some crazy things going on in the Suez, I don't know if it's Suez or Suez Canal, but we have that boat that got stuck after drawing a phallic symbol in the water. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's actually insane, but it's costing the global market like $400 million an hour because this thing is stuck where, like, I think 15% of the world's commerce goes through this tiny little channel. Absolutely insane. And because of that, I think potentially the price of oil, from what I've heard, is on the verge of like skyrocketing because we can't get the oil through there. And if that happens, I think potentially, some of those older plays that were running a lot, like MDMP, some of these other OTC stocks, could potentially start running again because the price of oil might increase. So I would love to see that. And yeah, OTCs in general have not been hot, but we've seen a lot of really nice movement in Nasdaq, so this also could be a time to focus on that and learn how to do that. So I'm going to talk about those stocks as well, even though I probably won't be trading them myself. So there's a lot of good stuff in this video. I'd really appreciate if you smash that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the post notifications so you can be the first one to know about my video, be the first one to comment, and get a cookie, because the first person to comment gets a cookie. I don't know if you knew that or not. But yeah, that's it. Let's dive into my computer. All right, guys, so I'm here at my laptop, and this is the chart for HMBL. Remember, they changed the ticker. This used to be a TSMPD. Before that, it was TSMP. This is my best stock of all time, and you can see here that it had a pretty disappointing day, and honestly, this is pretty similar to what we've seen in the past with this stock. For whatever reason, people love to buy the hype and then sell the news on this stock. Buy the ticker change and then sell it once it actually happens. So this could just continue to be something that happens in this stock. So keep that in mind. I guess, when the actual app release happens, maybe the hype building up to the app release spikes it, and then it tanks on the actual day of the app release. Maybe the hype building up to the audited financials spikes it, and then it tanks on the actual day of the audited financial release. So just keep that in mind. It could be a possibility. You can see it actually gapped up really nicely. Let me go, if I can go 2 days. Can I go 2 days? It's not going to let me go 2 days. Really? All right, let's go here. Okay, well, it's being annoying because I guess it had the new ticker. If you could see before, let me pull it up right here on my other chart just so I can tell you guys. Yeah, so it actually closed the day. I mean, it closed at 385, and it gapped all the way up and opened right here at 415. So 385 to 415. I mean, that's a pretty nice gap up right there. That's a 30-cent gap up. You take 10,000 shares, that's $3,000. Unfortunately, I didn't overnight this, and it basically just went kind of right into a panic, right into a sell-off. Had a nice little bounce, but I wasn't able to take advantage of that. And I really didn't start trading it much. I might have gotten in on this dip buy a little bit when I made a higher low there and made some profit here. But overall, honestly, guys, where I made the most money on this stock was just trading these tiny little movements in here. And you can see when it's trading in these little channels, you guys can see it just goes up and down, back and forth. And it makes it pretty easy to know when to buy when it's trading like this. You know, if you buy up here, you're probably gonna lose money. But if you buy in this area, it's pretty easy to either make money or get out break even. Same thing here. You know, when there's a couple cent ranges just bouncing back and forth, if you can buy here and then sell here, and you do that over and over and over and over and over every single, you know, minute, basically, it really adds up. And I made $646 on this stock, pretty much just doing that all day long. And you can see, I mean, it was downtrending pretty much the whole day. It did come back up a little bit, you know, after that, after finding a base here, came back up a little bit in the close, but there really wasn't a ton of like clean movement here. So really, in a market like this, you got to be able to take advantage of those tiny price movements, guys, those tiny price movements. And I love doing this on Fidelity because, again, there's no commissions. Sometimes they fill you halfway between the bid and the ask when you're buying just 1,000 shares of this particular stock. And when you do that, you know, say it's in this area, this is what, 381, this is 382 right here. So if you bought, you know, if you bought 1,000 and you bought it when the ask is at 382, the bid's at 381, it would probably fill you 381.5, which means if it moves up at all, and now the bid is at 382 and the ask is at 383, suddenly you can sell your 1,000 shares market and get out for a penny gain. And if you have 1,000 shares, that's $10. You do that over and over and over throughout the day, it really adds up, guys. It really adds up. So I love doing that. I really love doing that when it's a slow market because that allows you to have profits no matter what the market is doing. Because if you go look at some of the other examples, HQGE, this one tried to run, man, and it had some decent momentum earlier on in the day. It did keep running, but then it found a top and just faded off, man. It just faded off. And if you buy in this area, you know, expecting it to continue running all day long like these stocks have been doing, you would get absolutely wrecked. And I think because of that, shorts are being more aggressive on these OTCs right now because they know if they short here and they short here and they don't cut their losses, it's going to fade back down. They're going to cover for a profit. So, I mean, it's a pretty good strategy up until we get one that just goes, you know, 1,000, 2,000%. So I'm hoping one of those comes soon. Maybe it's one of those oil companies. Again, MDMP, we got a lot of those. You can go back and watch some of my videos back when those were spiking. We got some pretty decent tickers that could see some nice movement. MDMP, I mean, this thing does really run when it runs. It's so thinly traded that it could go very explosive. I wouldn't be surprised to see this, you know, go from this to over $1 in one day. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if this thing starts spiking up, you got to be ready to hop on that train early and lock in some of those profits when you have them. Now, let's see. What else was I trading? Let's see. AOII is always a good one. You can see there's some decent range in here for flipping. AITX, same kind of story. OZSC, same kind of story in here. This one's a little bit tougher to get the executions on, and sometimes, you know, the range is not very big in this area, which makes it a little bit difficult. But this is still a decent one. But this is just insane, guys. It's insane. There's so much downward pressure on this stock, and I really feel like they're dumping shares. That's what's crazy about this to me because there's some decent news coming up, and I feel like this thing is just being sat on by Fatman. So I don't know if he moved from AITX or he's got a cousin, Fatman 2.0, who's just sitting on OZSC, but I'd love to take a swing in this. I really would because I think it has a lot of upside. It's so scary seeing how many big sellers there are. Like, in this move down here, if you guys weren't watching, I just want to explain what happened. Like, literally every single time it downticked, there was like a 500,000 share seller on the ask who just kept moving down and down and down and down and down and down. And I mean, I guess that's not an insane amount of money. Like, you know, at 10 cents or 11 cents, what is that? $55,000, but I mean that's still pretty decent. And I have a feeling that even if you bought all those shares, it still wouldn't have moved up. So that was more just like, you know, scare people down and continue to move the price lower and lower and lower. So it's pretty crazy. And I'm not sure if, this is some of the impact that Jane Street Capital is having. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about that, but it's also been pretty crazy. They've had a lot of impact on the OTC market, basically manipulating them. And do your research on that. Do your research on that, because it's been insane. It really has been insane. And they made all the OTCs run together in February, and now they're making them all crash. And that's kind of why they're all moving together. That's kind of why they're all moving together. So keep that in mind. ICBU, definitely some room to flip on this one. You just got to be creative with it, guys, and just take small size if you're not good at it, honestly. ENZC also had some decent flipping range. So that's pretty much just all I do on choppy days like this. You just got to be extra disciplined with your entries, and then extra disciplined taking your profits or cutting your losses if it goes against you. Say you're flipping here and you buy here, and then it starts tanking. I wouldn't hold and hope on this. I mean, maybe I would average down here and try to get out here, but you got to be extra careful and extra patient, because any one of these could turn into a massive panic. And if you add here, then it keeps falling, man. You get back most of your gains on the day. So you got to be really, really careful. ILUS, man. I mean, this is just insane, guys. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So much downward pressure on this one. I mean, this is from what I've heard, the research on this company is really good. It's got a lot of big contracts, so this should be a good one to swing. But I think just a lot of shorts are all over this. So I mean, maybe you just got to be aggressive and take an entry in this area, because once it breaks out past, I think, 19 cents, I think it's going to see an explosive run. I really do. And it's definitely a lot better price getting in at 9 cents than getting in at 18 cents. Again, 50% discount. Again, I said I wanted to swing the stock from here, and now it's down here. So I might just need to man up and try to take a swing position. But I don't know. Part of me hopes that we get a little bit more redness so I can try to get him right at this level. But who knows, guys? Who knows what happens? Who knows? So maybe I just day trade this. I don't know, guys. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. What else? Yeah, so let me talk about the Nasdaqs now. I don't want to make this too long of a video. So EEIQ. This is one of the Nasdaqs that was... It doesn't look like it has a lot of range, but it actually does. And the reason it doesn't is because it went up so much in pre-market. And I don't know if you guys can really tell that, but let me go make this 2 days just so I can zoom back a little bit. So, I mean, this was down, $3, $4 area. And in pre-market, the next day it was as high as $70. And then, you can see what it does right here. I mean, it goes from $17, multiple upside halts, it looks like. Yeah, so upside halts at 830, upside halts at 840, upside halts at 850, 851, upside halts again, and then, no, upside, where is that? Okay, so that's right here. Yeah, so 906, upside halts again, and then 911, it downside halts, and then reopens down here 947. So again, guys, this is just another one of those examples of Nasdaqs. Why I don't really like them, because if you're buying up here, my goodness, man, my goodness. Downside halt, you have no opportunity to get out. You buy in at, 30, call it 32, and it reopens down here at 19. That's a big loss. That's a huge loss. So if you get caught in these, man, it's crazy. I mean, it's still closed up, I think, 287% on the day. Absolutely insane. We had a lot of Nasdaqs that were really, really running. WAFU was another one that had a very similar chart. So you can see it spiked up huge in early pre-market. I mean, this is insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, this is like 4 a.m. my time. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then came all the way back down and then spiked up again. And there was definitely a lot of opportunities midday on this. I mean, you can't, it looked like not that much range, but I mean, if you go from, what, 850? Is that when it opened? Opened at 861 and went as high as $21. So I mean, that's a lot of range in there, guys. I don't really know a good way of trading this. I'll be honest. I mean, if it's holding uptrends, I guess, you can see it's holding an uptrend here, so get in on the uptrend. But then, when it cracks, obviously, it's not really a good time to be in. You don't want to be in for these cracks, man. You don't want to be in for these cracks. I think that might have been a downside halt. Yeah, that was a downside halt right here. So you just got to be careful on these stocks, guys. But it kind of feels like right now, Nasdaqs are heating up when OTC land is drying up a little bit. So there might be more opportunity, depending on your trading style, for you to profit if you're trading stocks like this, because these stocks are moving, multi-100% in a day. And if you're trading OTCs that are, just choppy back and forth, and you're not quite as good as I am at catching those tiny little moves, you might have a better time trading these stocks. And again, guys, everyone has their own trading style. Like, just because I do OTCs does not mean that you have to. Just because that's my favorite thing does not mean that it's what's going to work best for you. So, definitely try these out. You still got to follow your rules. You still got to stick to your plan. You still have to cut losses quickly when the trade goes against you. Don't hold and hope on stocks that go from $4 up to $36 in a day. That's stupid. You're just going to lose money in the long term. But there's definitely opportunities on these stocks. A couple other ones that were moving. BRPA. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Damn, I just half sneezed on my hand. Uh-oh. FEDU, not FEBU, February. I'm trying to type February. FEDU. I guess this had a little bit of range. They all look very similar, though. You guys can see they all spiked up super hard very early in pre-market. And then they had like a mini spike at open, went a little bit higher, and then came back down. But I mean, again, if you're buying, if we zoom in a little bit here, just to see the range of the chart, if you're buying at 176 and it goes up to, 250, or if you buy down here at 170 and it goes up to 250, that's still a decent gain. That's better than pretty much anything you'd be getting in OTC land. I mean, I guess HQGE, if you buy, right down here and catch it right here, I guess that's pretty much 100% gain, from 60 to 120, I guess. But this one was tough, and I think this one created a lot of bag holders. So ultimately, guys, you just got to know what you're good at. Be prepared for some big movers in OTC land when they come, but don't hold and hope and don't expect things to move. Don't buy big on a stock and then not cut your losses just because you think it has to run. It doesn't have to run. I think we'll probably get another big runner because shorts get really aggressive because everything's failing. But until that time, it's still probably just going to be choppy. And you got to learn how to take advantage of these moves just as well as those massive 1,000, 2,000% moves in one day. And if OTCs are not your thing, or if you want to branch out and diversify, definitely look into some of these Nasdaqs, guys, because they've been running a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. I had a pretty nice weekend. I went to the park today. Pretty cool. It was I didn't even realize we had a park in Missouri. It was like a lake. It was like a beach in Missouri. It was weird. It was super windy though. It was like 25-mile-an-hour winds. My lips got really cold, and it got to the point where I felt like I was drunk trying to talk. Not that I've been drunk, but it's weird. It's a weird feeling when your lips get cold and you're trying to speak. So I'm glad they're not cold now because I've been speaking a lot. So I think it's time for me to shut up. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you tomorrow in the Discord. Until then, you know the drill. Let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.